What's up, everybody? Kier Gomes here, and welcome to Way Back Wednesday, episode 18. I really can't believe how many episodes of Way Back Wednesday we've had, and I'm starting to really enjoy reviewing these older decks or kind of forgotten decks, and it seems like you guys are really enjoying it too. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Royal Reserve playing cards by Jeremy Griffith and Ellusionist. We may also briefly be comparing them to the White Edition, which I'm going to be perfectly honest. In fact, no, we're not going to compare them. Part of what we're going to talk about today, though, is that one looks special, the other one looks standard, and the cards are the exact same. So before we get started, please do drop a like on this video, and I hope you'll consider subscribing if you aren't already. And without further ado, let's roll that intro and get you guys on your way. So here we go. The tuck case is done in matte cardstock. It's almost like that of the Monarchs. It's very matte. It's not shiny at all, and I think it looks great with this shiny gold foil on it. It says Royal Reserve in this beautiful cursive writing, and it's embossed on the front there, and then says Luxury right below it. At the bottom, it says 56 pieces, 3.22 ounces, Republic Collection. And it looks super good. Look at that. Ooh. Sexy, so sexy. One side of the deck says, by playing a smarter opponent. You turn over the deck, it says, you only get smarter. It also has a 2 of clubs reveal there in the bottom corner. Can be used for magic tricks, I dig that. It says Jeremy Griffith and Royal Reserve there on the back. The top of the deck just says Royal Reserve. And the bottom says Ellusionist and has Royal Reserve written once again. The words Royal Reserve are written 6 times just on the tuck case. Talk about good branding, Ellusionist. Nice. Let's take a look at the cards. All right, now the back of the deck looks like this. It has a super thin white border and then has these kind of royal emblems that kind of look like almost like fleur-de-lis, but there's diamonds and then this kind of like fleur-de-lis looking shape in there that make up the back. I'll get as close as I can without blurring it so that you can see what the back design really looks like. Now, to my knowledge, these cards are not marked. I can't find any sort of marking strategy on the back. However, to their credit, they always make really cool marking systems on their decks. So you're gonna get 2 jokers that look like this. There's a star in each corner, or this kind of fleur-de-lis shape. And it says Joker in cursive, 1 in black and 1 in gold. I absolutely love these jokers. Your Ace of Spades looks like this. It's an enlarged spade pip with a very thin stem, and it kind of has this white hue in there that makes it look shiny and kind of adds some texture. And it says Royal Reserve in gold right below it. Looks really nice. Very standard looking Ace of Spades. Looks like something you would find like in a casino somewhere, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. This is a very gentlemanly deck. In terms of add cards and gaff cards, you are going to get a double facer, so you get a King of Hearts and a 10 of Spades. You guys might have seen, if you've been subscribed to my channel for maybe like the last year, you may have seen I did a magic effect using this deck. I force the King of Hearts, put it into the middle, snap my fingers, it turns into the 10 of Spades, the King of Hearts ends up on top. Do a color change, turns into the 10, and then the king ends up back in the middle. So kind of this transpo routine where there's 2 phases of transposition plus a color change and a force. It's a really nice trick, but double facers, always good for that. You are also gonna get a double backer, which I happen to love. Very nice. All right, now this deck is fully custom, so we have a lot to get through, so let's get into it. You can see that the pips and indices are a lot smaller than you would find them on a bicycle deck. I mean, I'm talking tiny. In fact, if you fan the cards for the indices, you can see how much smaller they look, and you can also see that the hearts and diamonds have been swapped out from red to gold, which I have no problem with. But the pip placement and orientation is also different, so the cards have a custom pip placement. It's not the same as you would see it on a bicycle deck. Like, look at the 8, just makes a square in the middle of the deck. 9 is just a grid. This is really nice. It's a very nice touch, especially for the theme of this deck, kind of having this royal, classy, gentlemanly feel to it. You can also see that the court cards are completely black and white with no color on them. but they are bicycle standard for the most part. Look how tiny the Ace of Diamonds looks. It's tiny. So the gold looks really nice with this deck. Again, it's just a theme, and I think it looks way better than if they would have done it in red. Same kind of pit placement, looks really good. You'll notice that on the court cards for the diamonds and hearts, there is some gold in there, so it's not completely black and white. Makes it a little bit easier to differentiate which suits are what, and I have no problem with it. I think in general, it works. And so now you pretty much get the idea. Those are the faces. This is what the deck looks like if you fan it. Looks really nice, very clean, very sleek. I like that look. All right, now that's pretty much it for how these cards look. Let's switch angles and talk about how they handle. All right, so the handling of these cards it's interesting. They're printed by the USPCC and they are fairly thin. As you can see, they look about the same as bicycles, and they are on bicycle stock. So the only difference between these and newer decks is that they don't feel as soft. They're a little bit more stiff. So take just a little bit more resistance to spring the cards, and they do require a little bit more breaking in than you would normally have to do with a deck printed now. But other than that, I really like the way this deck handles. You can see it fans wonderfully. Not having any problems there. That's what it looks like if you fan it for the faces, once again. In a spread, the cards look really cool. They just have this like nice gold streak that you can see, just very classy. This is definitely a deck that I guess you could perform Magic with. I personally wouldn't. It's just not standard enough for me. But if you were performing at like a casino, like a really, really fancy casino or restaurant, this deck would probably match that type of environment very well. Let's see how the cards faro. They definitely faro from top to bottom. Do they sound like in a dribble? Ooh, that's actually very nice. Yeah, I like that. Now, this deck, because the details on the back are so subtle and so small, in movement, you can't really tell what the back design is. It almost looks like it could just be like a champagne yellow deck of cards without any design on it. I don't think there's really any problem with that. Up close, it looks really nice, but from far away, as you can see, the color really starts to fade out and you can't really tell what it is anymore. Let's check the snappiness on these. Yeah, the cards are definitely snappy. I think one way to really tell is just if you snap the cards like that, you can hear that resistance. It just kind of, they look like under pressure. Not bad. Still very stiff though. I had a couple of these decks, so I opened up a new one for this review, and really haven't broken it in yet, but starting to get there. If I had to compare the way that this deck is going to feel in the hands, it definitely just feels similar to a bicycle deck, like one that you would go and pick up at Walgreens, but it lasts a little bit better. The thing with bicycles is, depending on which ones you buy, if you buy like the new traditional bicycles, not the rider backs, but the new traditional ones, hang on. If you buy these instead of these, you'll notice that they are different. These ones feel amazing and last forever. These ones, like the ones that you would pick up at like Walgreens, they clump almost immediately. So it's one of those decks that you buy them, you use them a little bit, and not to say that they're bad. I love bicycles. I'll use bicycles forever, but kind of has that same feel where after a few shuffles, a few springs, maybe a few like pressure moves, the cards really start to clump up and they don't fan out as well, or they don't spread as well. Which, depending on what you're doing, isn't really a huge deal anyway, so take that for what it's worth. But the point I'm trying to make is that these almost feel like these. So they almost feel like the less desirable bicycles, but they don't clump up almost at all. I mean, you can see they hold up very well. In fact, here is a very used and very damaged version of these cards. Now, these are the exact same as the black ones. The only difference is the white tuck case. So I was actually really disappointed about that, because they don't tell you that when you go to buy the cards, or at least, Ellusionist didn't tell you that. They made it seem like it was a different edition, but it isn't. The cards are the exact same Faces are the same, the stock is the same. But at either rate, I've been using these cards for about 3 years, and I mean, not very much, but they hold up really well. The camera's not picking it up that well, but you can see that the cards have yellowed a little bit, and I have used them enough to where they would be clumpy if they were any other deck, but they've lasted very well. They hold up great. So one thing I will say about this deck is you can use it and it's gonna stay in good condition for you. It is gonna last you a long time. But just like all decks, they go through kind of peaks and valleys. So they'll clump and then you'll keep using them. They'll stop clumping, you'll use them a little bit more, and then they'll feel new again. So there you go. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Way Back Wednesday and my review of the Royal Reserve playing cards by Jeremy Griffith and Ellusionist. If you're interested in picking up this deck, I don't know where you can find it anymore. I got mine from Doc's Playing Cards, and I got the white version, which is basically the exact same, from Ellusionist when the cards were new. So it's been a while. I don't think they're still available, but you might take to eBay or see if any third-party retailers still have them. Please do drop a like on this video if you liked it, and I hope you'll consider subscribing for more awesome episodes just like this. All that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. I know I will. And I'll see you guys this weekend. Peace.